The end of Duryodhan. On the 18th day, Duryodhan appointed King Shalya of Madra as the commander-in-chief of the Kaurava army. It was decided that instead of individual combat, they would stick together. Sahadev killed the remaining sons of Karna. He also sought out and killed the evil Shakuni and his son Uluk. Arjun finally killed Susharma. Bhim slew all the remaining brothers of Duryodhan. Yudhishthir used a powerful Shakti, piercing Shalya's chest. After Shalya's death, the remainder of the Kaurava army completely dispersed in all directions. The Kauravas had been decisively routed. The Pandava victory was complete. Thus, on the 18th day, Kurukshetra war came to an end. All the Pandava brothers and their leading warriors were still alive, while only Duryodhan, Sanjay, Ashwathama, Kripacharya and Kritavarma remaining on the Kaurava side. Ashwathama, Kripa and Kritavarma fled the battlefield on their chariots. Duryodhan too fled the scene. The Pandavas began looking for him. Wounded, tired and desperate, he went northwards and reached the vast Dvaipayan lake. He used some magic he knew to still the waters of the lake and entered it to rest inside the water. The Pandavas were aware that their victory would be incomplete without Duryodhan's end. Spies brought them the news of Duryodhan's hiding place. Yudhishthir and his brothers with Sri Krishna reached the place. Yudhishthir challenged Duryodhan, "Do not hide like a coward. Duryodhan, come out and fight like a Kshatriya." Duryodhan came to the surface of the water, hissing like a snake. He donned armor and picked up his gada. Bhim too picked up his mace and stepped forward to confront Duryodhan. Bhim was huge and unmatched in physical strength, while Duryodhan had put in more practice in wielding the mace during the last 13 years. Arjun slapped his thighs to remind Bhim of his vow. Bhim remembered in a flash and his anger now exploded. Duryodhan had leapt in the air to avoid Bhim's blows, but left his thighs exposed. Bhim now brought his gada crashing down on his adversary's thigh. It was like a thunderbolt. Duryodhan let out a sickening scream and fell to the ground. Bhim roared in triumph. The victorious Pandavas blew their conches and left Duryodhan beside the lake. He had only a few minutes of life left. Upon Sri Krishna's advice, the 5 Pandavas spent that night outside the camp near a river some distance away. Ashwathama, Kripacharya and Kritavarma came to meet Duryodhan. All 3 were sunk in grief. Ashwathama burnt with rage and swore to kill the Pandavas at night when they would be asleep. He convinced his uncle Kripa and Kritavarma to assist him in his evil plan. It was very dark night. The 3 reached the Pandava camp. While Kripa and Kritavarma stood guard at the entrance, Ashwathama entered unseen. He first slaughtered Drishtadyumna and then Shikandi and Draupadi's 5 sons. The 3 then met Duryodhan and told him everything. Hearing this, Duryodhan then breathed his last. When the Pandavas learnt of this terrible tragedy, they went mad with rage and grief. Bhim ascended a chariot and rushed in the direction Ashwathama had taken. Krishna and Arjun plus the other Pandavas followed him on their chariots. They found Ashwathama hiding in a rishi's ashram on the banks of the Ganga. When Arjun challenged him, Ashwathama was struck by fear and took a blade of grass in his hand. He then uttered the mantra of the Brahmashiras Astra and let it loose on the Pandavas in order to destroy them. To counter this, Arjun also released the Brahmashiras Astra, both the divine astras possessing the awesome power of universal destruction, clashed with each other. It seemed as if the entire creation would come to an end. Devarshi Narad and Vedavyas appeared at that moment and ordered both Arjun and Ashwathama to withdraw their astras. Finally, Ashwathama diverted the astra upon the womb of Uttara, the late Abhimanyu's wife, who was pregnant and was living in Dwarka. Krishna cursed the wretched Ashwathama, who, though being a Brahmin, ventured into the Kshatriya's domain of fighting and killing. Shri Krishna then pronounced a terrible curse on him. Your body will be full of boils and wounds, with pus oozing out of it. You shall keep wandering for many thousands of years in forests and mountains. No human will be able to see you or help you. You shall thus suffer for long.